Alexandria Knife Sharpening. So yesterday I brought up the subject of homemade knives and foreign knives, and I also kind of make a category of what I call Etsy knives, which could also kind of cover foreign knives, but it's basically knives that are homemade that you don't necessarily know the origin of. So on the different forums and even in on the Guild of Professional Sharpeners with who I associate with, there have been conversations and guys who've had problems of finding lead in knives, and this is typically a problem with foreign knives. A lot of times they've been like Pakistani knives and things like that. And where I am here in Alexandria, Virginia, we have a lot of military. So I do get a lot of guys that come in, and sometimes they have knives that they got when they were in Afghanistan or Kuwait or all these, different Middle Eastern places. And of course, a lot of them are just decorations or things that they just want to keep, but some of them do want to use them sometimes too. And I've also seen some, knives that on Etsy that are questionable, and a lot of the stuff comes from China, and as we all know, China has definitely had problems with lead and putting lead things in things, including toys and everything else. So what my policy is, and I don't get tons of them, but they come in on, pretty regularly. So my policy is I always have to inspect everything. I always ask where they got it. And then what I do is I do a simple lead test on them just to be sure, because I don't want lead getting into any of my sharpening gear. And if it's questionable, I just won't do it, because I don't, I do too many people's kitchen knives, and I don't want to cross contaminate somebody's knives with lead. So I do a simple test. Now, is this perfect? No. Like the best test out there that a home person can get is a 3M test. But quite frankly, the 3M test is not really cost effective for my purposes here. It's a lot more expensive than the test that I do. So I charge $1 to do the test. I've found these swabs to be really good, and they work. And I'm going to show you. So what I have here, this is a lead bar from my scuba diving gear, and it's actual real lead. And I'm going to show you how one of these reacts. So basically, to do the test, all you have to do is take white vinegar and wet the swab, just like so. And you'll see it turns yellow. And then you're going to rub for 30 seconds. So I got a 30-second timer there. And you're going to rub this on the thing you want to test. And if it turns red, that's a problem. That means there is lead in whatever you're testing. So, and obviously with a big giant lead bar, we should see a very significant change here. All right, so there we go, and you can see that. And here's the chart that they show you. So no lead would be this light color, and red to this really dark maroon is lead detected. And then you can see our lead bar gave us a very nice bright or a very nice dark lead indication. And if I see that on a foreign knife, I'm not sharpening it. And let me just show you on another knife. So I'll do another test for you. Okay, so here is my brand new Spyderco that I just got a couple weeks ago. It is CPM S30V. And let's do a test on that. We definitely should not see any indication of lead on a Spyderco knife. So we'll do the same same test. So we wet it with our, this is just vinegar, just white, regular old white vinegar. And we're gonna click start. And I'm gonna start now just checking my blade here. That's good. And our test time is done. And you can see no change whatsoever. It is not red, no indication of lead there. And just for safety's sakes, I'm gonna rinse my knife off with a little water. Not that I think vinegar would hurt this in any way, but I'm not trying to etch it. So I don't want to leave that vinegar on there, but I'm going to just wipe that off. But as you can see, no indicator there. Now, so I think, I think this is really possibly worthwhile, especially if you get a lot of people like I do coming in with the occasionally with a questionable knife steel, because quite frankly, you can't necessarily guarantee that someone's going to tell you the truth about where that steel came from when you're dealing with a homemade knife, or especially a foreign knife. So I will also add that there can be false positives. The one thing that will cause a false positive is zinc. But the good thing about that is zinc is almost never used in knives. If it is, it might be in the handle area, and that's usually a really cheap knife if you're finding zinc in it, because zinc is terrible for knife blades. It won't sharpen well. So you shouldn't be seeing too many false positives, but that is the one metal that could give you a false positive test. But at a really affordable price, this was like I believe it was $16 for 30 is what I pay for these. So it's about 50 cents a test, and I charge $1 to my customers. And if someone is even got any question about it at all, I'll gladly test anything they want, just to see if there's lead in it for them. So I think that could possibly be worth doing for you guys that are running into foreign knives. They may be totally fine, but you know what? Why not take the extra step at at something that's not super expensive to do, that you can pass the cost on to your customer before you sharpen that knife and maybe contaminate a Tormek wheel or your belt or your shop with lead. So that's my opinion on that, and that's my solution that I use here. Is it perfect? No. Could there be false positives? Yes. Is this test the greatest test in the world? Definitely not. I would much rather, I wish I could get the 3M tests for under $1 each, but I can't. So I use these, but at least I know by testing it against a known piece of lead that they do work. And that's what I do. So have a great day, everyone. I figured I'd share that with you. And that's my stance on foreign knives. So I will leave a link to the tests that I use in the description of the YouTube video if you'd like to purchase the same ones that I tested here today. Have a great day, everybody.